welcome to Masterclass. I'm your fairy godmother of the day, Samantha Samant, owner and operator of Fairy Godmother Face Painting. This is my kit. I use ruby red face paints. They're hypoallergenic, they don't stain, and the best part is they're easy on, easy off. Now, some face painters like using tag or DFX face paint. I find that sometimes they stain the skin, especially the reds, but you're gonna have that issue with most reds, but this one I find usually does not stain, which is great. I have my brushes here, my sets of glitter. Today we'll be working on a little bit of SFX face paint. Now, for those of you who know what SFX is, they're special effects face paint. That's the long form of it. And with special effects, we do scars, cuts, wounds, and stitches and all that jazz. It's really cool. Before I do that, I use hand sanitizer because you gotta have clean hands while working with kids, adults, whoever you're working on. Now, my model, Brian Cano. Say hi, Brian.
Hi, guys.
He is going to be my ever so willing and lovely model. So we're gonna take the arm like this. I'm gonna wet it a little bit prior. Now, when it comes to actually water changes, you wanna do 1 water change per every 10 kids that you do. We're gonna start by doing some lovely open wounds. I'm gonna take a little purple. I'm going to put a line of purple down the arm where I wanna create the scar. Now with this, you're gonna outline the shape that you made really thinly, as thin as possible. Now, if it's not straight, it's actually better because it makes it look like the skin ripped. When you're face painting, you wanna work in layers. You wanna constantly be adding depth. Now you're gonna go in with white. So the next thing I'm gonna do is a bruise. You're gonna wanna start with a purple and just find an area to splodge on. I'm gonna use your hand this time. Turn over. Okay, perfect. And I'm gonna start by making a big, messy splotch right here. Because sometimes your finger is the best blending tool. And go in and mix. Now, if it's not mixing the way you want to mix it to mix, sometimes you do have to take a sponge. Some face painters use one sponge per color. I like to use 1 sponge per person. I just feel like it's a little bit more sanitary that way. If a sponge is not working for lifting up color, always have multiples of paper towels. So you can just, there we go. Now see how it's giving us a nice bruise? And I think I'll add yellow for a little bit more depth. Sometimes bruises have this yellowy color to them. We're gonna learn one more thing, which is stitches. So the stitches are really easy. I'm gonna take a line, run it down the hand, dots, 1 on either side. And then you're going to paint X's in a little bit of a curve along each dot that you've created. The smaller the brush you have with this kind of work, the easier it is. Now I'm gonna make a tiny V to make it look like there's tiny little ties coming off of it. And there you have a scar. Well, rather, stitches.
Hi guys, I am Emerald Young, and on today's masterclass we're going to be discussing self-care. Self-care is so important, and I feel like we don't really do it. Well, me, because I'm always on the go. I work 2 jobs and I'm in school full-time. So what does that leave me time for myself? Well, let's start off by taking care of our natural self. So the first thing I do when I get home to pamper myself a little bit is to take off these eyelashes. What a big difference, right? Next step, I wipe off my makeup with these Neutrogena makeup removing cleansing towelettes, and I do this real quick. Okay, I get my makeup off in 3 seconds. So 1 towelette, 1 face off. And now I'm going to wash my hands. Then I'm going to be using my favorite facial cleanser, which is the Soap & Glory, the Fab Purifying Foam Cleanser. Looks like this. Shake it up. 1 there, 1 here. Maybe a little bit more right there. And then, for my favorite part, I take this St. Ives Fresh Skin Apricot Scrub. Take a little bit of water. And I start scrubbing. For my favorite part of this whole time, I'm going to be taking this Sephora Moisturizing and Soothing Lotus Sheet Mask. So it comes in a packet like this, and then comes in another packet like this, and then then I'm gonna take this, rip it, and then I am going to distribute this sheet mask on my face. Then I'm gonna take a shower with this baby on. Okay. On days where I need an extra pick-me-up, I use these 2 products. This is the Shea Moisture African Black Eczema and Psoriasis Therapy Body Wash. I use this one, and then I scrub my body with my favorite product ever. This is the Soap & Glory Body Scrub. When I tell you heaven in a bottle, it's really, really heaven. So I'm gonna go take my shower. After the shower, I use this luxurious body lotion. It's a Righteous Body Butter. It smells so good, and as you can see, I'm running pretty low, so I smear this all over my body, and then I jump right in bed. Throughout the day, and especially before bed, I try to drink as much water as I can, because if I don't, I wake up really, really parched during the night, and who doesn't like water? And it's really, really good for you. So I'm drinking my water before I go to bed. I hope you guys enjoyed. These are some of the things that I do to promote self-care and just to be healthy and, you know, rejuvenated throughout the week. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Hey guys, I'm Kevin. Welcome to Masterclass. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to use a green screen. Most of you probably already know what a green screen is. It's a large piece of green cloth used to place objects or people in different settings, kind of like this. And while it seems like a simple process, it can be quite challenging to make it work really well. I'm going to guide you through the steps of how to set up your green screen, how to light it, how to film correctly, how to use sound for it, and finally how to actually replace the green with a picture. Let's get started. This is a side view of my setup for my green screen. We have 2 lights with umbrellas on them to diffuse light pointing at the green screen on 2 angles that are creating nice shadow diffusion. And we have the green screen here set up with bars at a pretty good height. I'm about 6'5", so this is probably about 6'7", and it can go even higher. And one thing you might notice is that the green screen actually goes down past the floor and actually rolls out a bit on the floor so that you can actually stand on it. Make sure when stepping on the green screen to always have socks on. Never have your shoes. It'll permanently damage the green screen. It'll give it marks. It might even rip it. So always put your socks on. You need lights like these to eliminate shadows on the green screen. Shadows mean different variations in the color, and you want as even a color on the green screen as possible. One other problem that occurs is wrinkles in your green screen, and we're going to take a look at that now. One of the main problems with this green screen is wrinkles, and that's a problem that people have with a lot of their green screens. You're going to want the screen to be as taut as possible to make sure that there's no differentiating in the color of green that arises when you have wrinkles or creases. Now obviously there's things that you can do to combat that. You can iron it. There's actually sprays that come that actually get rid of creases. But in the end, if it's only a little bit of creasing like this one, it'll actually be fine in the end. The program that we're going to use There's a lot of cleanup options that ended up getting a pretty good result. So now that we know a little bit about green screens, let's try it out. Alright, so now we're here in our editing program. I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro, my go-to video editing software, but you can use Final Cut, Avid. They all have the same ability to use green screens. So right down here in our project, I've imported our footage, which is me acting like a fool on the green screen. So let's just click on that, bring that in the preview window, and just trim out what we want. Now let's bring that in. We can just hit comma to bring that in. Now, we're going to want to look for something called Ultra Key. This is what's going to allow us to get rid of that green screen and replace it. One thing you might have noticed is that the green screen doesn't actually take over the entire shot. That's not a problem. We can actually just crop that out. Let's go to our effects down here, type in crop. We really just want to mess around with the left and rights. I look like the top, I didn't frame it perfectly, so we're going to have to take a little off there. But let's just move the left in and move that right in, just so we have the green screen. And we're going to overlay this over something, a full image, so it's not going to end up looking like this, like it's a vertical video or anything. That would be bad. Now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty stuff. It's pretty simple, to be honest. You go to the key color, and you take this little dropper, and you literally just click the green that you want to take out. Now try to find a part that you think might be the average of everything, because obviously there's wrinkles here. This is going to be difficult to really get through, but I think this area here, so click. That's not bad. We can make this look even better. Let's go to matte cleanup. This is gonna help us make this look even better. So first thing would be choke. You want to put the choke up a little bit, not much. Contrast is a very important one. Watch what contrast does. Takes out all those lower spots and eliminates a lot of the shadows that come up from the creasing. Now we still have a problem in between my legs and my arms, it looks like. So let's try to mess around with a couple things. You mess around with midpoint here. That does a little bit, but let's make sure we're not, that looks still decent. And one other thing that I found that works is in the matte generation, you go to shadow and you turn that all the way down. Let's see what that does. Oh, look at that. Look at a lot cleaner. It's already looking pretty good, guys. I'm actually pretty happy with that. Now for our background. Let me go and try to find a picture that would go with this. Okay, so I found a picture. We have Egyptian blue -FL here. Egyptian art, wall art, that you would see in ancient Egyptian pyramids of sorts. So let's play our video back. And this obviously with being able to automate any of these, we can really do whatever we want. We can have me start way over here at the beginning, and then we'll add a keyframe, and then towards the end of the video, we are all the way over here. And that illusion could have been done better if I had just done a few like fake steps in place. It would have looked maybe a little bit like I'm moving. And you can tell, you saw the wrinkles that were on that green screen that I have, but it still works out pretty well. So try these techniques out when you're using your green screen, whether it's a green screen that you're using for just personal use, or it's one that you have at your school or something. Try to find new fun ways to use green screens, and thanks for watching.